So we were talking about this before the game. We're hearing some different over-unders, some different money lines on this. I think on average, I'm hearing that Texas is favored by about 3.5 to beat Michigan, despite the game being in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
TJ, you have something to say about this. I can tell. What do you think about that line there? Are they taking too much stock in Texas and not enough stock in Michigan's returning talent, or what do you think's happening there?
Absolutely. And I think what it comes down to really is the quarterback, right? I mean, they got Quinn Ewers. We know that. He's a dog and he's legit. He's coming, so I feel like Vegas is favoring that. I mean, look, Texas lost a lot. We're going to get into it as we get into the show. You guys lost a lot of key players. I mean, I know you guys reload, so do we. We do have a bigger question mark at quarterback, and we will definitely get into that. But, for it to be a 3.5 point favor to Texas when it's on the road, so really it's like a 5.5, 6 point spread in reality. They typically give a home team, 2.5 to like 3 points. And so we're not, so they're definitely projecting Texas to get the dub. But, personally, I feel I'm feeling like that might be a little aggressive by Vegas, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. So we talked earlier in pre video, and it opened at 2.5, and it's actually been bet up to that. Some sites even have it at 4.5. So I was surprised by that. I think 2.5 to 3.5 is fair, just because when you look at just the perception, I guess, for the common fan, Texas brings back their quarterback, 4 out of their 5 offensive linemen, and their head coach. Michigan loses all 5 of their starters on offensive line, their quarterback, and their head coach. So, I mean, that's a lot to lose in one offseason. So I think it's a fair line. Am I saying that Michigan's going to lose this game? Absolutely not. We'll get into that a little bit later, but I think it's fair. I think 4.5 is pushing it. I will say that at 3.5, I think that's fair.
Well, and if the money's driving it, that's just the way it goes, right? So Vegas has to hedge, Vegas has to make sure it protects itself. So, I mean, that's kind of where it goes. But, yeah, I mean, look, and, we'll hit into it. I don't want to jump topics because I know we're going to touch on things later. But, yeah, so, the line is what it is. Money's going to drive it. We'll see where it'll be very interesting to watch. Where does it go by kickoff? The matchup we have here is a heavyweight bout. And like, that's the thing too. And I'll even ask this question. I was going to save it for later, but I'll ask it now. Whoever wins this game is going to feel damn good on the rest of the season, because it's going to be a game that not only propels you into a college football pitcher, like into the pitcher, but also you're beating an elite team regardless. So you're going to feel optimistic for the rest of the season, and it puts you on a good path. So Matt, you tell me, if you guys were to win, what would be the reaction from the Texas? Like, how would you feel if, let's say, Texas wins the game? What is the reaction post game from that?
That at worst we're going 11-1. Yeah, that's how I'd feel. I mean, Georgia's the only one, guys, and this really sets up. If Texas were to be able to go on the road and play and win this game, I think this defense is better than Georgia's defense this year. I really do. And I do. I don't think Georgia's defense is anywhere near. I think Michigan's clearly the best defense in the country. I really believe that. So if we were able to win this game and go on, I think we can get into it. Well, we won't get into it, but I'll get into it on the Texas channel. I think Oklahoma's magazines are in love with them. I don't understand it, but I think we beat them this year. And then it would set up potentially 1 versus 2 in the country down in Austin for Texas versus Georgia. That might be the most watched regular season game this year. Honestly, if that's 1 versus 2, it might come over Ohio State, Michigan. That'd be the only one that would come near it, in my opinion. That would be a hell of a game. It'd be a fun atmosphere. So that's where I would be afterwards. Obviously, if we lose, we could still make the playoff, but it'd be kind of hard to do because our schedule's it's not easy, but it's easier than some or most SEC schedules, so it'd be harder to do. But I do think if you just had a real playoff, there weren't these automatic qualifiers and everything, I think these two teams are 2 of the 12 best teams in the country. That's where I'm at.
Keys to the game is being responsible with the football. Turnovers are going to matter. This is the type of game you cannot have turnovers because it should be a close game. So for me, it's turnovers and then Michigan getting pressure on Quinn Ewers. If we can limit our turnovers and get pressure on Quinn Ewers, I think that is the path to victory for Michigan.
So mine are kind of weird. So if I want Alec Orji to throw the ball more than 24 times in this game. I think
bet you do.
I do. So that's like 6 a quarter basically is what I think Michigan would like him, or under that. I think Texas wants him over that. I also think third down is going to be huge in the distance, especially. So like Michigan needs to live in the third down in 3 yards to third down in 5 yards. If it's anything over that, they're going to have serious issues in the defense in this game.
Yeah, Michigan's got to remain on schedule. I don't disagree because we don't. I think John would agree. Being in third and long consistently with Alex Orji. Now, can he complete a forward pass? Of course he can, but to do it consistently throughout a game, there's just an unknown. And until he can prove it, I mean, hey, if he can prove it, we'll find out. But we definitely need to be ahead of the chance.
For sure. And also for Texas, got to get better in the red zone. We talk about the offense. People need to go back and watch that Alabama game. We had 2 red zone possessions in that game where we settled for a field goal. 1, we got stopped on fourth down. We could have won that game by 3 touchdowns if we just scored points in the red zone. We were bad at that last year. So that's something Sark needs to be better at. That's something the players need to be better at as well. I think it was a lack of execution on certain throws by Quinn, because that is his biggest issue is processing for the most part. But once that's his one thing, if he can hit on that, I feel very confident. And then also Sark needs to stop being so cute in the red zone. I think that's part of his issue.
Yeah, I remember that at the Falcons. He definitely was. That was definitely one of the things that caught him some flack at the Falcons. But I think you guys both make great points. Moose is asking, can he convert third and longs? I think I would expect to see Kirk Campbell draw up similar plays like against Alabama when they threw that chip shot to that short ball to Blake Corum. I expect Donovan Edwards to be utilized in a similar way. Texas won't be quite like they're going to be having a spot.
Oh, he froze on us. But yeah, anyways, I agree. I mean, I think what Michigan will do is, you could put Donovan Edwards in the slot. You can also split Colson Loveland out wide. We got Samaj Morgan too, who's our speed guy. We'll find out though. I mean, listen, it's not a position Michigan wants to be in. We do not want to be behind the chains. We have to stay on schedule. If Texas can consistently keep us off schedule, Michigan's offense it's gonna be a problem. There's no question about it.
Yeah, that's why I said that's one of the keys to the game. And it's kind of funny too now thinking about Donovan Edwards and Jaden Blue. Obviously, Edwards has way more experience, but they're pretty similar backs in that they're good pass catchers out of the backfield. They have burners. So, yeah, I think Sark kind of wants to do the same thing with Jaden Blue and get him in the slot and use him in the pass catching game as well.
I'm going to be intrigued if we unleash Cole Cabana, because that's one of our little speed demons. He's one of those 10, 500-meter guys, and his high school tape's insane, but it's one of those things where he's not great in pass coverage. So he's not, they didn't really, obviously they redshirted him his freshman year. I'm interested to see if they use him as a secret weapon, because he is that type of player. He's definitely an X factor type, but we'll see if this year he gets some run.
And here we go with predictions. So what do you think is going to happen? We'll start with Matt this time. Give your prediction. Wait, still 2 months away. I know that, and both of you have the right to change this. So I'm going to say that. But as of right now, what do you think is going to happen?
So, man, I'm going to pick Texas 21-17. I think it's a really good game. I think it goes down to the fourth quarter. But I think the combination of offensive line, quarterback, and coach coming back for Texas, and a lot of that being replaced for Michigan is the biggest factor in the game. I also think we'll be able to hold up enough. I'm not saying we're going to stop Michigan's defensive line, because that's just not going to happen, but we're going to be able to hold up enough to give Quinn enough time to be able to attack them down the field, because I think that's what it's going to come down to. Honestly, you're not going to be able to move the ball, go on 12 plays drive versus this team. You're going to have to hit them deep, and I think the speed that we have, we're able to attack vertically and get enough points on the board and end up winning the game.
Yeah, so I am going to take Michigan 28-24. I don't know if either team gets to 30. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think Michigan is going to edge it out because us being at home is a big factor for me. It being so early in the season, both teams are going to have a lot to learn in terms of chemistry with each other. They're only going to have one game under their belt. I do think the Quinn Ewers factor matters in terms of experience, but I also think Michigan being at home is going to pay dividends for us, and I think that's what's going to get us the victory. If this game was in Texas, because of our QB uncertainty, I don't know if I'd have the same score prediction, but because it is at home, I'm going 28-24. The boys in blue, go Michigan. Let's get it.